under the RSC PTI Independent Futures at Work project is funded through a grant from the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services, the Rehabilitation Services Administration. That is a mouthful, and is a project of the Alabama Parent Education Center. And again, like I said, this is being recorded so that anyone else in the future can watch this to get caught up or to know what was discussed today. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. It looks like we have about 17 people, give or take. And if anyone else hops in, then Crystal's going to let them in today and we'll just keep going. Again, I am Letitia Coates and I'm the state lead, and that is my email address and my phone number. So if you ever need me for anything, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. So we have already done the welcome. So checkbox 1, already done. The next thing is we're going to review the committee member responsibilities. This has to be done once a year so that if we have any new people, that they have an understanding of kind of where we're going and what we're supposed to be doing as a committee. And then I'll have a couple of project updates as a whole, and then we will adjourn. So again, it should be a pretty simple meeting. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. I don't know if I'll see you raise your hand, but Crystal should be able to see you if you want to raise your hand. Again, however you want to get your question out there, feel free. I will not look at the chat box while I'm presenting. So if you have a question or anything and you want to put it there, that's fine, but I will not see it until we are done. And if that's okay with you, I don't mind. I just don't want you to think I'm pretty good at multitasking, but I am not that good, I promise. So, all right, guys, does anyone have any questions or want to say anything before we do get started? I want to be very respectful of everyone's time. Okay, all right, I'm going to keep going then. All right, guys, so roles and responsibility of committee members. And again, this is a refresher, and I also sent you the document that needs to be signed and returned, just to make sure that as a committee member that we are all under the same assumptions and that you agree to participate. Most committees and councils, board members, things like that, they have something like that they sign yearly. So I went ahead and sent it to you. If you could sign it and send it back to me, that would be great. If you would like to scan it and email, that's great. If you would like to take a picture of it with your phone and text it to me, that's great. If you want to mail it to me, I can give you my address and you can mail it. However you'd like to get it back to me, just let me know, and that would be fantastic. So the main responsibilities are listed here, and they pretty much encompass most every single thing. And really, at this point, most everyone that's here has already done some of these already to some extent. So number 1, attending state project advisory committee meetings quarterly via Zoom. November and what we do is December, March, June, and September. There are 4 meetings that we ask of you a year, and those are the months. Those are all listed on our website, and they are the first Wednesday of each of those months. So I will send that out again, and there's always the registration link there on our website. Crystal, do you mind to find that page and pop that into the chat box? I would appreciate that. Okay, so the second thing is inventorying and evaluating existing state material that support transition to independent living and employment for individuals with disabilities in those 7 priority areas that we talked about. And those 7 priority areas are understanding vocational rehabilitation and independent living, supporting transition and employment, bettering communication with professionals, developing individualized plans for employment, obtaining information about rehabilitation and independent living, transitioning to competitive integrative employment, and understanding the Rehabilitation Act. Those are the 7 priority areas that are listed in the grant. And basically what we've done already is we had everyone send us in all of the resources that they knew of that were Oklahoma specific, so that we could put those into those priority areas. And then we went through and then we had you guys rate those. If you know of any resource, whether you think that we may have already looked at it or not, you can send those to me at any time, and we will send it out to just a select committee members to get that rated, so that way we don't have to ask that of every person every time. And then we will get those on our website where the rest of the resources are listed and rated. Well, they're not rated there, but where they are listed. So the next thing was identifying the gap areas in services, materials, and trainings within those areas. So what we did was we took everything that you guys had sent us, and then we looked at and we prioritized them in those 7 categories, basically those 7 priority areas. And we all just basically looked and said, okay, we're lacking in some of these areas. So, and that was all sent to Alabama, to their parent education centers, because they are the actual lead, that the grant recipient, maybe I should say. And then we have the contract for Oklahoma under that here at the Parent Center. The next thing was providing input to ensure that all gaps are clearly identified within our state. Again, kind of putting those 2 together more or less, just making sure that if there are any gap areas, that we all were aware of those gap areas. And I don't know if I want to say for the record, but to let you know, every state had gap areas in every area. Transition is, and independent living specifically, it is hit on. However, to have everything covered, we just aren't there yet, as maybe a nation within these priority areas, at least not in the 6 states. Every state had gap areas. So that is something that the grant as a whole is developing products and services that will hopefully help fill in those gaps. So that will give us those needed things for everyone. The next thing on this list is assessing existing available materials for impartiality, objectiveness, quality, ease of use, and applicability to the rules and regulations of the eligibility system in our state. And again, that kind of all goes in together with how we rated them. Those were the areas that they were rated in. Again, some of these all kind of mesh, and I believe that all of you were a part of that process. So you have a good understanding of what we're talking about already, because we've done it. Sometimes it's not enough to just describe it. Doing it makes it so much easier. Knowing how to effectively disseminate print materials and information about in-person and virtual training, along with information about online courses, and marketing all materials and training opportunities via email, social media, and through project partners. Essentially, that is basically, please share our information. And we've talked about this before, and if you have information that you would like for us to share, send it to us. That is the purpose of this project, is to make sure that anyone and everyone in Oklahoma and honestly across the world that has internet access, that if they want to see the materials that we have in Oklahoma, they're all there. Anything that is listed there goes directly back to whatever partner developed that resource. It is not It is not a Oklahoma Parent Center materials that are listed there. It is all everything that is available in Oklahoma that can help youth with disabilities and their families and those who work with them. The next is assisting in the development of an outreach plan for our state for reaching and supporting underserved populations. And specifically, they have listed incarcerated youth, low-income families, families of color, youth in rural areas, youth and families without reliable internet access. Because we all know that just having those resources online doesn't mean that everyone can access them. So trying to come up with some great ways that we can make sure that everyone is getting the information that they need at all times in whatever way works best for them. Sharing evaluation information with your partners, your constituent group, and bringing feedback from them back to the project. So if you share anything that we have going on and they want to be a part, invite them. This is not a Boys and Girls Club that only certain members can get into. We want everyone's opinion who has an opinion about this. It is so we definitely want more information and more input than you could possibly ever give us. So if you have any, please let me know. Again, you can call me, you can email me, whatever you'd like to do. And if any of your partners if they see something that we've done and they find an error, if they have something that they think would make it better, let us know. We're not above making mistakes. So we would love to be able to make any products that come out of this or any services literally be the best that they can be. So we truly do value that input. And that is, to me, the best part of this project is having people that honestly that I can turn to and that I can know that will tell me the truth, and that I can say, okay, is this as bad as I think that this is? Is this as good as I think this is? And I know that you guys are going to be honest with me. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so that is essentially all that we have for the second little checkbox that we had there, which was review of committee member responsibilities. Before I keep talking, does anyone have any questions about any of those responsibilities? I keep shuffling papers around, sorry. I'm hoping y'all can't hear that. Okay, well, we will keep going. And again, if you have any questions, you always feel free to reach out to me. The national or the regional project, the Independent Futures That Work project, their website is fully up and running. And resources, they are loading them up periodically. It is independentfuturesthatwork.com, and it looks like down here, this little picture. So when you go there, you're going to get it. Make sure that that's kind of what you're looking at when you're there. I don't know that there's an independentfuturesthatwork.org, but it's very possible. I haven't even tried it. So, but sometimes websites are so closely named that I get a little confused. So we wanted to make sure we had a little picture there so you understood. Please check out the website frequently for the new resources. They have national resources there. So each of the 6 states puts individual state resources on their websites. And then this website puts national resources, and then any resources that they have created, project created resources. And please download any of those materials that you would like and share it with anyone and everyone. There is a lot of good stuff there, really, and it applies to all of us because they are, again, national resources that would apply to every state. They also have some social media pages. They post more, I believe, on Facebook than they do the other two, or maybe it's because I go to Facebook more than I go to the other two. But either way, the project, the Independent Futures That Work project, has a Facebook page, an Instagram, and a Twitter. So please go and like, follow, share anything that you see there. It in the Oklahoma Parent Center Facebook page, we periodically share the things that they have also, so that, again, we can make sure that we get as much information out there as we possibly can. Okay, so the new and upcoming projects. So there are some new tip sheets that will be coming out, and these are all created, again, by the RSA project that is out of Alabama. I know that they have reached out to some people to help them with some of this information, so that it is, when we get them, they will be specific to our state, because each state does things just a little bit differently. So there will be some new tip sheets on the Rehabilitation Act and VOC rehab services. And again, they're customized for each state. There will be some training videos on communication tip sheets. And there is already a training that is out there that the Oklahoma Parent Center will be doing coming up in June and July, and it will be Independent Living, Here We Come. And it is specifically a training that talks about the oh my goodness, my mind went blank. The checklist. They have a checklist that is out that gives parents and individuals, and honestly, teachers, anyone working with individuals with disabilities, some ideas of some things that they could help to get youth as independent as possible. So I can send that link to everyone. I believe I have already, but I'm going to jot a note that I will follow up with an email that has a link to the website for the Independent Futures That Work project, and for that particular checklist link. That way you don't have to necessarily dig around. If you want to dig around their website, you can, but to see that particular checklist, because it's fantastic, but to see that particular checklist, I will give you a direct link so you can look at it, download it, anything that you may need. And then in the future, training for working independently, Here We Come. They are in the process of developing a checklist for that. And then there will be a training over that checklist to just kind of talk through things a little bit more, to give some examples of how each one of those things might happen and who may help parents to do some of those things. Some of them would be probably specifically more in the home, and some of those may be more with community or school help. So, but I will send you that checklist so you can see it. Or Crystal may already have it in the chat box because she's pretty slick. So, but that training will be coming out soon. And when we schedule our trainings for the Independent Living, Here We Come, I will send that link out to everyone so that you can share it with anyone and everyone that you, and attend yourself, hopefully. Okay, so the upcoming activities for state advisory. There will be some surveys that are sent out, and we're asking that you help us with those. Most of you are probably grant funded in some way, shape, or form, or you understand how the federal government works, and there are a lot of surveys, and it really helps if people fill those out and return them. So I'm asking, I could beg if I need to, but I'm asking that whenever some surveys come out, whether they are from me or they are from the Independent Futures at Work project directly, if you will please answer any of those. I would appreciate it greatly. Again, attend to trainings. We are going to be having some virtual trainings, and then hopefully soon we can do some in-person trainings. And then everyone will be welcome, and hopefully you'll share and you will attend some of that so that you believe in what you're sharing. And again, we want this to be some quality, informative, and we want to make sure that what we're giving people is helpful. Share resources from their website, the independentfuturesatwork.com. Again, there are a lot of things there, and they are national resources that they have located, or they are they created them themselves. Follow, share, and like, and let me know if you find any resources from Oklahoma, or if your organization specifically has developed something new that we didn't talk about a year and a half ago, because we all develop new things within a year and a half. So I want to make sure that we are making sure that anyone who goes there understands this is a list of resources, of documents, of materials, of anything and everything that's out there that, and without you, I won't know. So your help is definitely needed and appreciated. Okay, guys, that is pretty much all that I have. I am going to stop sharing this, but before I do, Wednesday, September 7th is the next meeting. So if you can jot that down in your calendar, I use Google, and if it's not in Google Calendar, then it doesn't exist in the world. I have this, I had to put them down for the year because I probably would mess that up greatly. So Wednesday, September 7th at 9 a.m. All right, guys, I got to turn this screen off over here. Okay. I'm like, okay, there you are. Okay. Everything went black. So I scared myself. I thought, oh my gosh, I have literally hung up on 20 people. That was the terrified look in my face. So does anyone have any questions? Do you have anything that you would like to add? I am going to go ahead and stop our recording now, so that way when someone does happen to want to watch this recording again, they don't have to hear all of our chit chat at the end, because we all know we chit chat. So, all right.